Maybe you're thinking about making an online course. Watch this video first. There's nothing wrong with online courses. I've got a product which is an online course, it sells very nicely, it's great, but I didn't do it as my first product. And I don't recommend that you do an online course as your first or only product. Either of those, don't do them. I'll show you why. Online courses can be really good, but they have a very long learning curve. That's because there are lots and lots of elements involved in making an online course, many of which are not things that we've ever had to learn before in running our business or developing our expertise, the expertise that goes into our product. I've mapped out some of the elements of the learning curve for you here. First of all, you have to be able to design the course. Now, that sounds simple. Well, I'll just write down all the things that people need to know and then I'll make some videos about them. Unfortunately, to make a good online course and one that competes in today's market, you have to learn something about how course design works and the psychology of that. One of the things about online courses is that people buy them, but they don't go through them and they don't learn from them unless they are well designed. If you're just doing a big brain dump of everything that you know and sticking it in there, it will confuse people and they have no momentum to go through the course. So that problem is that people don't finish the course. Yes, you've got their money, so you're fine, but they're not going to buy your next product because they're either going to go, oh, well, I've still got that course that I should do, so I'm not going to buy something else until I finish that, and then they never finish it. Or they're not that impressed with you, and you want them to be impressed with you, and you want them to buy something else. So you have to know something about course design in order to get them to go through it. That is an element of learning in itself. You can do it, of course you can, yes, but it takes time. You have to learn how to make videos. And yes, you can learn how to make videos, but when I made my first online program that has lots of video elements to it and then a standalone course, it took me hours and hours and hours to learn how to use the software. Quick tip, if you are going to do an online course, use Camtasia if you want to do slides with your software. How to do the editing. I was constantly Googling how to do this, how to stick these two bits together. Oh, how to take out all the ums and ahs and inevitable mistakes. How to put the slides up. How to get my computer to cope with running the slides and the software at the same time. There's lots to learn to make good videos. And editing the videos and making the resources. If you want it to be good, you probably want to have some sort of workbook or worksheets, elements of it, plus all the other tech that's in there around using an online course platform, uploading things, getting things to look right. There can be a lot of learning and a lot of swearing. Many people start to make an online course and they have great intentions, but the amount that they have to learn and the amount of work that's involved in an online course means that they have difficulty keeping going and they don't finish it. I've spoken to so many people who have started that journey and they haven't been able to maintain their momentum. Part of this is that when we're making something, we're used to, if you have a services business, a client deadline. I've got to get it done by the 30th. When you're making an online course, there's no external deadline to keep you going, make you finish, and there's no feedback there. Nobody is going, right, okay, brilliant, you've finished module 3. It's all down to you. So there is a real difficulty in keeping going with it. And you've always got that fear at the end of it, The little imposter syndrome, little person that sits on your shoulder. Have you got one of those? I have. That says, oh, I'm putting all this effort in, spending money on software, doing this, learning these skills, and I've got to sell the damn thing. And when you do get to the end of it, maybe you haven't set up your audience, maybe you haven't developed the audience as you went along, and you release it and 2 people buy it, and you think, oh, right, so I've just made £500, sold 2 at £2.50, but I spent 100 hours on that, and so I've made £5 an hour. And you can't help but do those sums. So people who make successful online courses that sell well have developed their marketing right at the beginning of the process of making the course. They've got it out there. They've done bite-sized chunks and launched those as mini products. They've talked to their audience. They've done build in public and told everyone that they're making this course, which also helps them with the keeping going. So by the time that they've actually got to finishing the course, they've got an audience of people who want to buy it. That's the clever way to do it. When you're making your first product, you don't know any of that stuff, and you don't know the importance of building your audience. And you haven't got an audience of people who have bought little things from you in the past, who you can then sell the online course to. That's one of the reasons why I suggest keeping it really simple and doing one of the alternatives to online courses first. I'll take you through some of those alternatives. Let's have a look. This is actually how I started. I got a group of people together, there's about 10 or 12 of them. I got them to pay me £1,500 to be on a 6-month programme, and every 2 weeks we did a workshop. I had a rough plan of what was going to be in each workshop, what they needed to learn, and I delivered those workshops live on Zoom and did a recorded replay for people. Really simple. That was a lot less work than developing a full online course. One good trick is to do this as your first product, and it allows you to get feedback from people about what they like, what that resonates for them, what's important to them, how you delivered that, how you got the ideas across, and then build it into an online course after that. This option is much lower risk, much lower hassle, and it may be that that's all that you need to do, and you do that 2 or 3 times a year, and that's your product. There you go. Maybe you don't even need to do an online course. But if you do want to do one so that you've got a standalone product that you can sell while you sleep, this is a good way to try it out first. Also, when you're launching products, you don't know if anyone's going to buy it. So if you've set up a product which is a series of live delivery workshops, you've maybe wasted 2 days of your time rather than 200 days of your time. Super simple. Why not do a paid newsletter? And that covers the same area as you were going to do in your online course. Paid newsletter is very simple to set up. You can use Substack or ConvertKit, one of those bits of software, to set it all up for you. You build your audience and you practice your ideas. You practice getting your knowledge out of your head and into your products. Again, very quick, very easy, very low risk. And you get some little bits of money starting to come in. And that encourages you, it gives you that reward of somebody saying, oh, I'm reading this. You're getting feedback that makes you go on to your next product, which can be a lot more sophisticated. There are, however, people who are making thousands a month just on paid newsletters because their expertise is valuable and that's all that they need to do. So you might stick with that one as well. Instead of the program of regular live delivery workshops, you could go even more informal and just set up a loose series of participatory learning sessions. You get people to come in, they work together. You don't need to design slides or any kind of lecture material. You just get them to dive in and give them some exercises to do. This actually gets you deeper with potential customers for a full-on online course, because you're getting into their ideas, what they need to learn, what they struggle with the most, and you get that really great customer feedback and you get to practice. You can start this off with just one learning session, see how it goes, and you get used to selling things online. If you're keen on making money quite quickly and you want to have a product which is more premium and you can sell for more cash, you could look at a cohort-based membership program with live drop-in sessions. Cohort-based means that you recruit a group of people together and they all start together on a set date. The membership means that they get access to resources that you've maybe already got, and instead of doing workshops, you could mix it up a little bit to make it sound more sexy and exciting, and have office hours where people can drop in, ask questions, show off their homework, and turn up with questions. This is also really good if you prefer to be talking to people rather than delivering a lecture. Many people thrive from that audience participation part of it. So that can be a really nice way of doing it, and you can sell something quite premium with that. Okay, our next alternative to online courses is something that I did 3 years ago. It was a just-in-time course where I enrolled a cohort of people and built the learning modules as I went along. It was absolutely crazy. And it was a really good way, because I'd got a group of people who had paid me money and who were all waiting for the next module, of making me master the tech, get to grips with it all, and finish it. And at the end of that, I actually had an online course that was all built. It was a bit rocky around the edges, and I then went and tweaked it, but I was then able to offer that to another group after that and do maybe 5% of the work. So that's why I put this warning up. This one can be a roller coaster ride. You have to be ready for it. You have to be organised. I would say that I spent 2 or 3 days every week making those modules within that 6 months. So it pushed out everything else in my world at that time. It was really full on, but I'm glad that I did it. It moved me forward really, really well. Those are some of the alternatives. Obviously, that's the tip of the iceberg when it comes to different sorts of product formats that you could use. My key point here is, if you're thinking about doing an online course, think again and think, okay, what can I do that is easier, faster, cheaper, and could probably make me the same money? What can I do that helps me with my learning curve if I want to make an online course later? There are lots and lots of different formats, lots and lots of different things that you could do. Of course, you should join one of my programs and courses and find out much, much more about that, and maybe have a group of friends and me to help you through that process. I would love for you to be there. Want to learn more about the art of productizing your expertise? There are new videos here every week. Here are a couple of good ones to get you going.